Hi, welcome back to Portsmouth to the 8-bed professional HMO. You will have seen some previous videos of the progress above ground, but today is a very special video with Chris Reynolds from Alliance Remedial Supplies, who has designed the solution for this basement and supplied all of the materials as well. So I thought we would just go through some of the key points of this basement conversion and give you some advice on how to make yours a success and to make it watertight and to make it last for decades to come. So thank you, Chris. Thanks for coming. I was just wondering if you'd give me just an overview really of what we've done in this basement.
Yeah, sure. So Alex, if you remember, you contacted me by phone with an outline of what you'd intended with the property here, and in respect of using the basement in a viable sense in some form or other, which led to me coming out here and meeting you on site when what we were faced with at the time was just a dark, dingy, damp basement, but that had a reasonable footprint, and there was something there to work with. So at that point I then move on to preparing a design enabling you to achieve what you wanted to achieve, which, as you said earlier, was to use this basement area as a kitchen stroke communal area. And there are some fundamental points that you need to address in order to take a damp basement area into a habitable living space. And mainly those would be obviously a waterproofing system for habitable use, and then things such as how insulation is incorporated, how a fire escape or fire exit is built into it, ventilation, and just being fit for purpose, that, as you say, is going to be around for a good, well, certainly the guarantee period being 10 years, but then 10, 20, 30 years down the line. So outside of the major cities and towns, such as London, Manchester, Birmingham, for instance, the key criteria for a property developer, landlord, end user, in terms of making a decision on the viability of converting a basement or a cellar for habitable use will be down to one key point, and that will be the existing head height. If there is a need to excavate a cellar or a basement by, say, 6, 8, 10, 12 inches, in order that after then the various waterproofing systems have been installed, then incorporating insulation and finished floor details, ideally you'd want to be left with a 2.2 clearance head height. If you can't achieve that without that level of excavation, then the chances are the cost of that will mean that the project isn't viable. And so in order to get something out of it, you might just want to waterproof it to a level whereby you've got decent storage facilities, but that you're not going to achieve anything by way of a habitable use out of it. In terms of footprint, the footprint doesn't have to be too big. If the head height is there to start off with, then you can probably accommodate, as we have done a number of times, especially for LNPG members, we've been able to create additional bedrooms, a bedroom with a wet room, which is superb, because even if you're just achieving that, you're adding significant value to the property and improving the rental yield. So that would be my key point for anyone considering the viability of a basement conversion. So in respect to the waterproofing system, Alex, basically there are three, if you like, product types that one could use as a waterproofing method. That could be something as simple as a paint-on cellar paint, or others will be very familiar with a tanking slurry. But again, going back to a cellar that's going to be used for habitable use, we're directed in terms of building control, building regulations, and the British standard for structural waterproofing to go with what's called a Type C cavity drain membrane system. And that's what we've got on the walls here. It's a high density polyethylene membrane. It's completely impermeable. No dampness will come through, no salts will pass through that. Nothing will actually get through there. Now, a typical manufacturer's product warranty is 20 years. An installer's insurance guarantee will be for 10 years, but BBA approval documents for membrane systems will state that this product as a minimum will be good for 50 years, and in most cases the lifetime of the structure. What we've got here is a configuration of plug fixings that secure the membrane to the wall. This is a double-sided tape which seals membrane joints together. It's vapor-proof and waterproof, so no vapour or water can pass through those seals there. And these plug fixings that you see applied in a uniform configuration by the specialist installer will now accept timber battens directly to them, off of which you can batten out and plasterboard or build a stud frame off of that, making the final fix nice and easy, accommodating insulation, cables, services, pipes, everything that needs to be situated behind that nice and neatly. So a cavity membrane installation requires that we accommodate a drainage system behind the membrane, and that's installed on the basis that we accept that we may only ever be dealing with a damp issue, but we know that that's what might be the issue today, but we don't know what the situation will be 5 and 10, 15, 20 years down the line, in so much as if we get a change in water table levels, we may well go from a damp problem to actual water ingress trying to get in behind the membrane system. And to accommodate that, what we do is we actually put in a drainage detail, which you can see here and around there, and that is configured all the way around the perimeter of a basement. It sits behind the membrane, underneath the membrane. It collects any water ingress, and you can see here it works its way around and is poured into, by the way of drainage inlets, into a groundwater sump system. This is housing 2 pumps. One is a primary pump that will collect that water and then pump it up and through an outlet that you can see there out to an external drainage gully. It's also supported by a high power battery backup pump within the same chamber, so that in the event we have a power failure at a time of high water ingress getting into that sump chamber and the primary pump not working, then the battery backup pump kicks in and will evacuate any groundwater that's sitting in the sump chamber. The other issue that we had to think through on this is that because we're at below ground level, we had to think of how we were going to get grey wastewater from the kitchen area being generated from the sinks, from washing machines, condensing tumble dryer, anything of that nature that was generating grey wastewater that needed to be got out from this level and up into the main sewers level at ground level there. And to do that, what we then did was we put a larger foul waste packaged pump station in there, which has a very high power vortex pump that will handle the waste from a number of appliances in the kitchen and take that out with a 24-hour downtime capacity as well. The reason that a below slab, if you like, packaged pump station was recommended and not an above ground say Saniflow type macerator was because of the capacity for grease and fats to be generated in an HMO kitchen could be quite high, meaning that a small scale above ground level macerator would potentially be needing to be serviced every 3, 4, 5 months, with potentially then also breakdowns being a regular occurrence. A very high powered below ground packaged pump station will take care of that, and the only requirement that a landlord would need to put in place is a routine maintenance servicing of the pump station, and once a year would be fine for that.
So thanks, Chris. Hopefully that's given you an insight into how you can go about converting a basement, and so hopefully you can open up a few more projects for you. Chris, if people want to get in touch with you, how would they do it, and what can you supply, and what service can you provide?
So the company name is Alliance Remedial Supplies. We're a specialist remedial builders merchants specialising in damp-proofing systems, waterproofing systems such as this. We're qualified surveyors, and we can offer technical support to the point, as we have done here, providing you with the design input for waterproofing systems. But we also run training courses at our trade counter unit, which is based in Gosport. We're the supply partners nationally to the LNPG group, and locally to the Portsmouth and District Landlords Association and Southern Landlords Association. So we're well fixed for providing a comprehensive level of service to property developers, landlords and end users.
Great. Well, I really appreciate you coming over.
It's been a pleasure.
Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and check out our website. And there'll be more videos towards the end of the project when you can see it and it's all complete. Thanks for watching.